welcome to People's Voice on VOP TV, where citizen stories shape the narrative. Today, we're dissecting a major story that is dominating the headlines and sparking conversation across the nation. Nigeria's future at stake. Comprehensive electoral reforms needed for credible process. Join the conversation with experts insight and citizen perspective. Share your thoughts with us. I am Savior Udo. Other news stories with details. Atiku hoping to stepping aside for younger aspirants in ADC primary. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has stated that he is willing to step aside for a younger aspirant if he loses the African Democratic Congress ADC presidential primary ahead of 2027 general elections, showcasing his commitment to giving younger leaders a chance to emerge. Atiku, who recently resigned from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, emphasized that uniting the opposition under the ADC is his current priority, showcasing his commitment to giving younger leaders a chance to emerge. Okay, so I think I am having a mixed feelings as regards to this particular statement by an elder statesman, because I sincerely was thinking he would keep to that particular promise he made before 2023. He said if he contests that particular election and he doesn't win, he was never going to run again. So in a situation where someone of this caliber actually declares such, and he lost that particular election, the presidential election in 2023, yet he is still coming back again to contest. So that's why it's quite dicey for me to really take such statement like this serious. And you didn't even say as an elder statement that you would rather just step aside and allow the younger generations go, and you would be an elder statesman to teach them, to groom them. Okay, since you've been in the corridors of power before now, but you are saying that in case you lose the primaries, which with the way everything is going, I think I was told, and I read in the news here, that the projection as regards to ADC is about 60% to 70-75% you have the upper hand. So, how sure are you that you're going to lose the primaries? That's the question. But I'll leave that particular one till the day that the primaries will be conducted. And when it is conducted, then we can actually know the importance of these particular statements that you've made today. Arewa Youth Assembly urges President Tinubu to prioritize northern security. The Arewa Youth Assembly for Good Leadership has appealed to President Bola Tinubu to intensify effective and efforts to tackle insecurity in the northern region. The group commended President Tinubu's leadership and reforms, describing them as courageous and a source of renewed hope. They urge the president not to relent in the fight against insecurity, especially in the north. Okay, I don't think the Arewa youth, okay, I don't think they actually heard the presidential speech yesterday, because if they did, the president said in the northeast and northwest, to be precise, that the insecurity has actually been overthrown, and the insecurity over there has actually been curbed. So I think you should go and watch the presidential speech again. So that's to let you know that whatever that has been bothering the northern parts is no more that serious. That's what the president actually said. And it's in the speech. This is not about me. I'm only reiterating what was said in the speech, which I actually read the summary here, okay, on TV. And away from that particular one, Lagos government denies ethnic targeting in trade fair demolition. Lagos State government has rubbished claim of ethnic bias in the demolition of illegal structures at the trade fair complex, attributing the action to enforcement of planning regulations. According to Olamide Olayinka, Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development, the exercise aimed to address issues such as poor waste management, obstructed drainage system, and deteriorated walkways. All right, this particular one is coming after there were so many backlash, and specifically I talked about it here on the show. I think this happened last week Friday. I had a correspondent go to the venue, and we actually took it live which I talked about it, and I said I wouldn't want this to be seen as an ethnic vendetta or what have you, okay? If the Lagos State government would actually do such a thing, I believe they would come out to clarify, which I believe they are still even doing more of that clarification as of today. But all I would just say to the government is, please consider the people before taking some actions. The actions might seem as if it is drastic, but of course it might be for the good of decent people as well. But I would just want the both parties to always come to a proper table of understanding, just to help the people, okay? Because you are there to serve us as a government official, as a governor, as a commissioner, which is appointed by the executive arm. You're there to serve the people, okay? And the people you're serving, if they are crying every day or you're demolishing what they have as business, where do you want them to run to? They should be able to come to government and say, help us. But if the government are doing them this way, what else do you want us to say? That would be my submission as regards to that particular situation. Labour urges federal government to drop anti-poor policies. The Labour movement has called on the federal government to stop implementing policies that it says are crippling workers and the poor. They also expressed concern over the economic crisis, citing inflation, unemployment, and affordable electricity tariff as major challenges. See, when it comes to this particular situation, I think this is not just one call. We are all calling, not just about Labour, okay? We're all calling the federal government to drop so many policies. I know that these policies are being said that it is projected to help the masses in the long run. But I would just want us to the government to be lenient as regards to some policies. And maybe, just maybe, they should have a way of, okay, taking care of the masses first, you know, as regards to their daily living. You know, we have electricity tariff now, we have housing tariff, you know, feeding, you know, everything is just going up. And someone actually said it, I think sarcastically said, there is nothing that goes up in Nigeria that comes down. Okay, the law of gravity cannot beat Nigeria. Meaning when once that price goes up, it's very difficult for it to come down. Okay, so please, I know you are trying to put in so many other policies and implement some other things, right? But when it comes to area of making the people comfortable in their country, okay, I think we should just be lenient at some point. Let us try and, I understand that the president acknowledged the hardship in the country, and these are more reasons why this should be looked into, okay? According to so many experts, whatsoever indices that has been given to us so far, you know, as regards to, will I call it fact check and datas, we are talking about hunger data here. So if the policy is not putting food on our table, it is affecting us. And away from that particular one, the Accord Party has called on Nigerians to remain united in nurturing democracy as the country celebrates its 65th independence anniversary. The party also mobilized support ahead of the November 8th Anambra governorship election, emphasizing the need for credible leadership and respect for democratic progress. I'm sincerely happy that Accord is coming out now, because it's been really been long ahead from them. The party Accord, it's really nice, but of course I would want them to really represent their people in Anambra State, of course, and that would bring us to the conversation that we'll be having tomorrow. Tomorrow again is another head-to-head as regards to Anambra State upcoming election, which is the 8th of November. So I wouldn't want you to also miss that particular one. Last week, we had the senior media advisor to Governor Soludo and the opposition party, the APC spokesperson. But of course, tomorrow, we also have the senior media aide of the Governor Soludo and also the state chairman of Labour Party in Anambra State. So I would want you to also make it a date with us for that particular one. Anambra is really getting hot now because of their gubernatorial election, okay, that is on the way. Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary, a nation betrayed, says Peter Obi. The Labour Party 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, has criticized successive Nigerian leaders for betraying the nation's founding fathers' vision, citing decades of leadership failure as the reason for the country's socio-economic decline. Obi noted that Nigeria once are predicted to be an emerging African superpower, has fallen short of its promise due to misgovernance. That cannot be overemphasized, okay? But we look forward to all of the promises the president has actually given to us. And away from that particular one, PDP crisis deepens over Akwa Ibom ESCO dissolution. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, is facing a fresh crisis after its National Secretary, Senator Samuel Anyanwu, declared that the Akwa Ibom State Working Committee remains intact, contradicting an earlier press release by the National Publicity Secretary. Anyanwu stated that this purported dissolution should be disregarded since no formal meeting of the National Working Committee authorized the decision. PDP should be building, not scattering. That is all I would say. Presidency rejects Peter Obi's claim on poverty. The presidency has dismissed Peter Obi's claim that President Bola Tinubu's policy have pushed 15 million Nigerians into acute poverty. Bayo Ononuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, described Obi's assertion as not based on fact and accused him of playing to the gallery. Okay, so I understand that Bayo Ononuga would always do damage control as regards to whatever that has to do with the presidency. That's why he's been paid. That's his job, which is lovely. But there is hunger in the land. There is no other English language that can actually quantify that particular one. Let's leave the English language. Let's leave any terminology. People are hungry. I believe you watched my 1st of October Independence program, which was held yesterday. I did a vox pop myself. You heard the people talking about how difficult it is to live as a Nigerian. So there is hunger in the land. I'm not against, neither am I in support of that particular statement as regards to the president pushing 15 million people into abject poverty and all of that. But all I'm just saying is that particular word hunger is existing in this country. I want that to be noted. And until something is being done about it, we would keep lending our voice. I just want the government to take this more seriously. I understand that the government actually reached out to the vulnerables by releasing about 330 billion naira as stated, okay, and each and everyone got 25,000 naira. That was what we were told, and I think they are in the third phase now to release. But I keep saying this, should in case you've gotten yours, and in case you've gotten yours, please let me know here. The program is People's Voice, okay? So if you have gotten yours, let me know. You call the line, you send us a message. Of course, I would come back here and I'll talk about it. This is who I am. I am a broadcast journalist that understands what they call balance, okay, in broadcasting. So I wouldn't say otherwise. But for now, I am yet to see anyone who has actually said, I have taken my 25,000 naira out of the 330 billion naira that has been released by the federal government. So this is all I have to say as regards to that. To join the conversation, kindly call the number 09044732605, 09044732605. Follow us on social media at VOPTV Live. You can use the hashtag People's Voice on VOPTV. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. Kindly hit the subscribe button, and together we can make our voices heard. It is time for us to go on a quick break. As soon as we return, of course, all attention is still on Nigeria, and it will never leave Nigeria. Nigeria's future at stake. Comprehensive electoral reforms needed for credible election or electoral process. Don't go nowhere. Stay tuned, please. I'll be right back.
Awuchiela o onye nụ ya ka ọrụ ibe ya. Ị chọrọ ịmata akọ ndị gbara n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche n'ala anyị kwa ụbọchị. Ị chọrọ ịmata ka o si afịatụ na ndọrọndọrọ ọchịchị, agụmakwụkwọ, azụmahịa, ime njem, ọbụla dị egwuregwu. Mgbasonyere anyị n'oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People Television. Anyị nwere ndị ọbịa bụ ọkachamara, bụkwa ndị ga-enye aka tapịa isiokwu ndị anyị jiri bịa kwa ụbọchị. Anyị ga-eji ka o siri gbaa n'akwụkwọ akụkọ dị iche iche wee malite tupu anyị akọzie n'uju n'ubi onye anyị bịara na nke ya.
Oruze mozo kedukosi ya gazero nyukwu ma gazero onye nta.
Mkparịta ụka tọrọ atọ ka anyị ga-ewetara gị bụkwa nke ga-eme ka ịmata ka ihe si aga n'ala anyị bụ Naịjirịa ọbụla dị na mba ofesi. Oge ndị Igbo na Voice of the People Television ga na-abịara gị site n'ụbọchị Mọnde ruo Fraịde na SLTV Channel 264. Ekwekwala ka akọrọ gị ya akọrọ. Chetakwa na ọ bụ na SLTV Channel 264 ka ị ga-ekiri Voice of the People Television. Voice of the People Television. Ugbu a iwere karịa olu.
Welcome back to the program, Rest of People's Voice on VOP TV. Nigerians' future at stake, comprehensive electoral reforms needed for credible process. Nigeria's 2027 general elections are fast approaching, and the need for comprehensive electoral reform has never been more pressing. Prominent Nigerians, including former presidential candidate Peter Obi, ex-Rivers State Governor Rotimi Amechi, and former Minister of Education Obi Ezekwesili, they have actually called for sweeping reforms to ensure a credible and transparent electoral process. The proposed reform includes direct funding of INEC, providing financial autonomy to the Independent National Electoral Commission to enhance its efficiency and independence. They also talked about enhancing prosecutorial powers, granting INEC the power to prosecute election-related cases and hold politicians accountable for electoral misconduct. They talked about the electronic transmission as well, implementing electronic transmission of results to guarantee transparency and reduce the risks of manual errors or manipulation. Biometric identification as well, which is to streamline voters' accreditation and reduce costs associated with printing physical cards. When it comes to printing physical cards, I think we are used to it in Nigeria. I talked about something of that particular nature with a particular parastatal, which I would like to withhold their name, just for I believe you understand, so that it doesn't look as if I'm calling them out. And I said, can you guys create a model whereby informations and files are being sent through the system to every offices, instead of you carrying papers, so that one day you will not say, oh, fire burns this, fire burns the document, fire burns this particular files and all of that. They said no, that if we submit such proposal, if anybody does, that it will be dead on arrival, because there are some people that collect the money for that particular paper printing and for that paper supply. So how did we get here? To a point where we don't even want to move. Printing physical cards, printing physical paper, like we just want to be carrying that file here and there. Everything can be done digitally now. Life shouldn't be that difficult, But of course, I have about 3 wonderful guests to join us, to make sense out of this particular conversation this wonderful afternoon. We're now being joined by Mr. Liberty Wilson, a lawyer, author, and public affairs analyst who is actually joining us from Abuja. Hello, Mr. Liberty. Good afternoon to you today.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Nice to be on the show.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure. How is Abuja today?
Abuja is fine. Everything is okay. We thank God.
And also, happy Independence Day, in as much as it was yesterday, I still need to wish you happy Independence,
Yes, thank you so much. I spent mine traveling yesterday. I was in Jos yesterday.
Whoa.
I love Jos. It's actually a very nice experience in Jos. I witnessed a celebration of independence by students, and it was so awesome to behold.
Wow. All right, thank you so much. I think after the show, you need to tell me about all of that particular experience, Thank you for joining the program. And also we have Dr. Mobolaji Ogbamola, a businessman, politician, and a political analyst. Good afternoon, Doctor.
Good afternoon, Xavier. Good afternoon, viewers.
You're welcome on board.
Always
And happy Independence Day to you.
Oh, happy Independence Day.
And we also have a political analyst here in the studio as well, Mr. Obong Thompson. Good afternoon to you, sir.
Good afternoon, Nigerians. Good afternoon, Savior. Thanks for having me.
A very patriotic Nigerian. You greeted Nigerians first. That's lovely. Happy Independence to you. And how did you celebrate yesterday?
We're working toward being. Are we truly independent? We shall see.
Didn't you enjoy yourself yesterday?
Yeah. As usual.
The holiday.
Okay, so no. Doctor is actually saying he enjoyed it as holiday, right?
Yeah.
Not as independent?
What are we independent from?
Wow. I wouldn't want us to start on a very harsh note.
It's a bitter reality.
Just as usual, just like every other day.
Okay, so if you want to tell that particular part, let us take it. How would you describe the president's speech?
Same old. Typical rhetorics and whitewashing scenarios you earlier on you were reading, you said you read about the statement made by the Arewa youths, and the president comes and says, oh, the issue of insecurity
said it is southwest and south, the northeast and northwest,
are coming out to say, come and help us, we need help, this insecurity thing is still going on. So who are you to believe? The president and his spokesperson, or the speech writers, or those experiencing the pain of the insecurity, Who do you believe? So it's part of what we're talking about. There's hunger in the land. And the leaders will come and say, yes, we know, but it's not that bad. But you and I know how terrible it is.
Very.
If I open my WhatsApp to you, every morning I wake up to people making all sorts of demands. People that usually won't do that. People that were probably of means once upon a time. And Nigeria has happened to them. And everybody, you see people that usually will just be on their own. Everybody's begging.
This particular statement you mentioned, Doctor, I think I would need to take it back to what I played yesterday as regards to the Vox Pop.
All right.
A particular woman said this in Yoruba when I interviewed her. She said it in Yoruba. She said that people are begging now. And she now used the word. She said, even to the people who were not meant to beg or who do not like to beg are now begging. I don't know if my PCR still have that particular footage. I would want them to, whenever it is ready, just that particular part, just to reiterate what you're saying. You understand? She said that including the people that are not happy to beg, you understand, and do not naturally beg before, they are now begging. But Mr. Obong Thompson, what can you make out of the presidential speech?
Well, I for once, I respect the president, but there's something the president cannot run away from it. The truth is very clear and very glaring in the faces of Nigerians. And I understand Nigerians are very hardworking set of people, and we are talking about hunger here in the land. We are not meant to beg. It's just the way and manner the government is being run that has, taken away, jobs, taking away responsibilities from people who are unable to, find something to do to earn a living. And the president coming to make speeches and want us to believe that he's saying the truth, while we Nigerians, we know what the truth is so unbecoming. We can't be having every time the president comes up. The other time we heard about the, meeting, he has so much money in Nigeria. That was in August. President said the money in Nigeria is too much. He has met his target.
Mr. Obong, yes, I think we need to come to that particular conversation because
he has made so much.
Because my question is, if you say you have met a target, you understand? Why are we still borrowing? Why did we need to go and borrow something fresh?
it's very, very disturbing that, you know, with the rate of insecurity in the land, which we learn about every second, every day, every minute, and the president will tell you he has fought, you know, the security now in the land.
You know, they have different statistics.
How?
They have different data. Just to let us know what they've done.
Coming. Less than 2 weeks ago, newly called to bar lawyers.
Yeah.
Some young girls were kidnapped, 5 of them. We heard the story about Somi or something, the lady that works with
Arise.
That the incident with the robbery, and she had to jump trying to save her life and all that. She passed out. You know, and you see the insensitivity of our leaders. I read the president's spokesperson talking about, no, it wasn't, sorry, the unemployed or the unappointed spokesperson, Reno, trying to analyze.
I don't take Reno serious anymore. No, Reno Murphy, I don't take him serious anymore.
How can you come and start saying all this?
When it comes to Reno, I don't think there would be any day that I would need to read this news on the TV here. No. Because Reno, I talk about people with integrity. You understand? So not for you to be moved here and there with waves, following the waves. Oh, let me go to Mr. Liberty, who is on standby. Mr. Liberty, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm
Okay,
here.
so let's come back to the electoral reforms. I know you also have something to say as regards to the presidential speech and independence, but maybe you just do it simultaneously. Let's talk about electoral reforms. What are the most critical electoral reforms needed in Nigeria ahead of 2027 general elections?
Thank you. Problem in Nigeria generally is sometimes the law itself, and sometimes the institutions for the processes of engineering our legal system. So critically, we have a lot of issues, especially when it comes to elections. And then when times like this come up, it goes to the poor man on the street who toiled to get a permanent voter's card, thinking about going out to vote and then thinking about whether his vote is going to count. I think you see, said the subject matter is timely. And then at this material point in time, we've been advocating electoral reforms from one end to another, using different platforms and calling on the government and the institutions that are involved to do something about it. And honestly, we have not seen enough. We have not seen enough. We still have a crisis of our legal system, which delayed a lot of justice. For example, you talk about our justice process. You talk about the timeline of cases in the courts and in the tribunal. You talk about an inability of the INEC or whatever institution is responsible for institution of the justice to punish electoral criminals, and also talk about the internal party crisis of different political parties, and how I feel INEC plays a role in catalyzing those internal crises. So these are serious issues that in fact, unless we advocate and then stand firm and fight for electoral, it's going to be practically impossible to really have a democracy if we don't have electoral reform. And they're talking about also issues of technology, the legal framework and technology. Imagine bringing about electronic transmission of results and then not backing it legally. You make it optional, not mandatory. So, in those things, in a way or the other, the lawmakers, or should I say the institution itself, leave loopholes where they can be able to commit whatever thing they want to commit or protect their clandestine interests using the law. So it's actually a critical aspect of our electoral reforms that we need to look for institutionally and legally, of course.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Liberty, for that wonderful submission. All right, I would like to ask you this, okay? I understand that you touched some other part of this particular one, but of course, I would like to ask you, how can INEC's independence be guaranteed, and what role should civil society play in the appointment of INEC officials? Don't forget that Sarah also mentioned that the president should release a list of the appointees that he wants to send to the National Assembly so that we can all see and all of that, but we were of the opinion if we are allowed to vote in the new INEC chairman, okay? But of course, I don't think that would be allowed, okay? So, but over to you. I'd just like you to mention how the INEC independence can be guaranteed. Please go ahead. Hello?
Yes, sir. I'm with you.
Yeah, please go ahead. I said, how can INEC's independence be guaranteed? And what role should the civil society play in the appointment of INEC officials? Can you hear me? Please go ahead.
Yes, I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. The independence of INEC can only be guaranteed. To me, personally, I feel like the presidents, those people who are responsible for appointing those electoral officers, at best, bring in people who will protect their interests. I think Goodluck Jonathan did something, and deeply within me, I feel like that tempo would have been maintained by subsequent administrations. We've never seen, though we've seen a system whereby a president will be from another region and appoint any chairman from another region. But in a way or the other, they appoint people they think who can protect their interests. But now, I think there is need to really insulate the process of this electoral, of this appointment and removal of the INEC chairman and other electoral commissioners. These are appointments who are made by the president himself. You don't expect a president to appoint who will not protect his interests. As you buttressed the point quite effectively, can we have a voting system? Can we allow the masses decide who is going to be the INEC chairman? You see, that's another issue. Another important aspect is funding. Funding is very important. Our electoral system per se, or our electoral empire, to so as that, solely rely on government for funding. And then even if they make budgets, those budgets will have to undergo, processes in National Assembly. And trust me, sir, when those budgets are there, it is like a bargain thing. For those who have been in the system in a way or the other, do gist us ball, the fight I need to go through. For example, I give it's a give and take thing. Okay, now can you protect my interest even in a way or the other, protect your interest in defense of your budget? So I feel like Nigerians should be allowed to decide who's going to be the INEC chairman, number one. Secondly, I feel like the umpire itself should be financially independent, shouldn't rely on government for funding. So I think these are critical aspects of this thing that need to be looked into. And on the role civil societies can play, civil societies have been trying. I think one basic instrument that is sustaining our democracy in Nigeria is civil societies. It's actually a segment of our democratic system that have done more than enough in enlightening people. And I think it's not really time to rest. Civil societies can continue to enlighten people. Civil societies can continue to influence policies. Civil societies can continue to bring to bear the value and the importance of this process.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Liberty. Let's come back to the studio. Doctor, I'd like you to actually give me your take as regards to the potential risks and challenges associated with the electronic transmission of results, and how can they be mitigated?
What risk? We've turned election into rocket science, election process and everything, we turned it into rocket science. The processes before, during, and after elections should be seamless. Part of the issues I have is issuance of voters card, which I think some of the banks in Nigeria now, they've shown us how easy to get these things done. You don't need to go into the bank to get your automated teller machine card, your ATM card anymore. You could just stand by the machine and input your whatever information, and it prints out your ATM card for you. So I think things like this can be imbibed. So you don't disenfranchise people. Every year you have youths who come of voting age, who are eligible. You should make it seamless and easy for them. It's not like parties have to waste a lot of time gathering people or canvassing and everybody get your PVC. It's not rocket science.
Okay, Doctor, please, I'd like you to hold your thoughts.
Yeah.
We have a caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Aino on the line.
Please go
from
ahead.
Lagos.
Good afternoon.
Now, you made a comment about the status of the economy when we started, about why the economy is like this. And believe me, we are not telling ourselves the truth. please, with no harm, no foul. We are not telling ourselves the truth. Everybody is blaming Tinubu. But the question I want to ask, is he really to be blamed for our woes? Question number one. Who should be blamed? I will blame the wastages both in the federal, state, and local government level. Let's start with the governors. Do you believe the governor of Oshu State, Adeleke, is spending about 350 million naira on the Shango shrine? Tell me what kind of waste is that?
What source did you get that? Hello, please. I would like to know where you got your facts from. Are you there? Please unmute yourself. Please unmute your mic.
I've unmuted myself.
Yeah, please. I would just like you to, give us facts and figures. Like I would like to know. I would like to know your source. Your source where you got the information.
I read a lot.
But go ahead.
So please, that he's spending 350 million on the Shango shrine. Man, what kind of waste is that? Can you believe a governor is spending governor I think Niger State, one of these northern states, is spending 20 million naira to renovate cemeteries? My God. Tell me, with such wastages, tell me who to blame. Then let's go to Niger State. Bagodo is saying that he will borrow and borrow and borrow, that is his turn, that he's even ready to borrow away the state for development. Tell me how much you can borrow to develop a state without private partnership to develop your state. And everybody is blaming Tinubu. Is he to blame? Now let's flip to the other side. Let's go to a state called Abia State. The governor is Alex Oti. The governor went as far as going to AMCON, buying off moribund industries from AMCON and giving it to private sectors to reactivate. Tell me, do you know how much employment that will bring forth if this thing is brought to bear? Please, people, let us not every day Tinubu. The governor should also take responsibility. Now, I think is it Kogi State or thereabouts? All the local government chairman took their wife to Turkey or Morocco for assessment tests to learn how to just for assessment. How can a government send their wives overseas for what? What kind of wastages is that? And you expect us to develop and everything you call into number? Let us be. My people, you say, what is the granite? What is the kola nut? It's inside the kola nut. Yes, Tinubu has its flaws, but it trickles down both at the state level and the local level. So please, until we are ready to develop, we are not yet serious yet.
Thank you so much for calling me. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, but quickly, I'd like to just buttress some of your points and to also give proper clarity as regards to your submission there. First, it was not Kogi State, Adamawa to be precise, and that was just rumor. We were told that they were not wives of the commissioner, the wives of local government, candidates or whatever you want to call it. They were commissioner's wife, and some of them went for some trainings, okay, which was actually funded. Some individually or by the state, but I believe that was Adamawa, not Kogi State. And you also mentioned, I think you mentioned Niger State. Yeah, so for that of Niger State, that's true. I saw that of Bago. And the last he mentioned as regards to the 20 million, which was 2 months ago, it was a particular, renovation of cemetery. The governor only gave money to because we did the vetting. The governor only gave money to some of the House of Assembly members to do some things in their own constituents. So it's now left for the constituents to decide what they were to do with it. And all we remember was it was only the religious leaders he gave money to. But just for that clarification, okay, so that it doesn't look as if we're just coming or attacking anybody as regards to issues like this. But moving on, I understand your submission. He is only saying that what happens to other, executive arm? It's not just about Tinubu, because if the president, for example, has actually implemented some laws, or he has given approval over some things, we should look around the legislators. What are they doing, okay, in their constituency? What are they doing? And let's look at the state level. What are the governors also doing? Because we heard, and a governor came out and he said that this particular administration has given the governors, the highest money so far. So let no governor say they don't have money.
The problem we are having, we don't want let me just make this clarity. The Nigerian system of governance has prioritized the presidency so much that everybody looks toward the presidency. And you can't blame Nigerians. That has been the system, that has been established for us to follow. Everything is presidency. And now that the presidency has the opportunity, he's the highest stakeholder in the committee, in the polity as we speak, is the president. So we expect the president to lead by examples. We talk about borrowing, and our president borrows a lot. So if the governors are borrowing, they are following the footsteps of the president. That's exactly what that is. So if the president,
but in a situation where the president is releasing money for the people and the governors are not releasing the money, we were not meant to hold the president accountable
to the governors. The money released to the governors are politically motivated, to safeguard.
What is even the value of these monies?
What happened to the ministries and agencies?
A state gets $1 billion naira 4 years ago. That's like $3 million when the dollar was at 3 something. Now you have 1,500 or 1,600 per dollar, and you give them 3 billion. So what's the value of that money? Does it have the same strength it had like 3-4 years ago? No.
So are you saying the money the president is releasing now is not enough?
He was
not even meant to release the money? Which of them?
He's meant to release the money.
Is the money not enough?
The money is not his money. And I'll tell you, some of the decadence we're experiencing now started with the president's tenure as a governor. Disenfranchising the local governments from their autonomy started with His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The creation of the local governments he did in 2003 that led to withholding of funds and everything. And after the case and monies were returned back to His Excellency Fashola then, you saw a lot of states coming to borrow the blueprints of Lagos to do a lot of things. And I'll go back to a lot of projects in Lagos, which I call white elephant projects, You see inflated figures, projects that probably will take a year to, projects that take place in other parts of the world, and you see figures and you're wondering, how come this is happening in Lagos or in Nigeria, So he got away with a lot of things, and this blaming the presidency for a lot of things started with the same people who are in government. Because I remember during Jonathan's, when they removed subsidy, even with all the stakeholders meeting they had trying to, palliate the effects of these things and everything, they came all out, sponsored by them, to discredit the government, even with all the good intentions of that government as at then, but it was politics. So it's still the same politics. These were things they established. These are things they established. So people following suit, and now they're coming and saying, no, you should go to your governors. As we speak, the local governments are still not autonomous. They are not autonomous. The so-called autonomy we're talking, there's still a joint account where their monies go to. You saw what happened with the last election in Lagos, local government elections. They still swore in LCDAs. So where's the autonomy? Which monies are you going to use to fund those LCDAs?
This particular situation is getting even more serious,
those are the facts.
Okay, because we're pressed for time, I'd just like us to talk about the reforms. What reforms are needed to promote transparency and accountability in political party financing in Nigeria? Like, what reforms, please?
Like the speaker, the person in Abuja said.
Yeah, Mr. Wilson.
Full autonomy, financial autonomy, and also they should be free from political influence in the aspects of appointments, because I think this started during Obasanjo's post-2003. You look at the INEC commissioners, they were picked along political lines and everything. And that has been, I think the only person that did something different was Goodluck Jonathan. And I mean, he was trying to impress the people and everything, and he got his fingers burnt. So
it's coming back again.
Well, let us wait. Yes, let's wait.
Okay, so Mr. Obon Thompson, what reforms are needed to promote transparency?
Actually, Nigeria needs political parties, as we speak about, need internal democracy, first of all. And then, you know, to abide strictly by the rules of spending, and, you know, that in any way will take away vote buying by political parties. You know, these are to be checkmated by financial institutions.
Can this vote buying even stop in Nigeria?
Yeah, established to checkmate the spending on political parties.
Doctor is actually waving his hand.
And it's a must for Nigerians to move forward.
Let me just chip in something.
The issue of vote buying.
You know, the last election in America, there was something close to this.
You understand?
Vote buying. People were getting mails with dollars in it.
So that means vote buying is general.
I'm telling you that even America is getting from Nigeria now.
That should be strongly be discouraged.
No doubt.
From political party primaries, it has to be discouraged, because politicians use vote buying of delegates to match as political candidates in various political
poverty
parties.
has been institutionalized,
so
and it's been weaponized,
the major
and they use that
problem, challenge facing Nigeria, is for Nigerians to have reorientation of their mindset and move toward, there must be a giver and a collector of such monies. And so Nigerians should desist from collecting monies from these politicians.
Can I ask you a question, Mr. Obon? I understand that a particular politician once said on this show, he said that since poverty has been weaponized, that every political party indulged themselves in vote buying, but it is the highest bidder that wins. So in a situation where people are hungry and you present at the polls, okay, in the award, you present maybe 5,000 or 10,000 to someone who hardly sees it in a week. What do you expect to do?
Many who said collect the money, after all it's your money. But it's not how you collect the money and you don't act according to the money. Because money.
Please don't waste your time.
You won't blame the politicians per se.
No, I will.
We'll blame the leaders.
The politicians are also the leaders.
No, it is not every politician that leads. We have some grassroots politicians who are there, who are...
A grassroots politician, even if you are a councillor of your ward, you are a leader in your ward, so I should blame everybody. You should be accountable.
I could be a politician in an opposition party and not be a councillor. I'm a politician.
Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. This is how far we can actually go on this particular one. Mr. Liberty, are you there?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please, I just want, in just a few seconds, not 1 minute, just give me your final take as regards to the political reform, please.
Political reform. I think basically the last thing I want to say is, can we explore a possibility of having an inclusive voting system in Nigeria? For like INEC can consider a possibility of having diaspora voting. Yeah. I think it's very important, since they form an important part of our population. Let's also extend this inclusive nature of our democracy to them.
Okay.
See how we can bring them to our electoral system.
Okay.
And then finally, I want to see if INEC can mandate, or if there should be an amendment of our electoral law to mandate electronic transmission of results. So basically, these are the last few points I want to make.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liberty Wilson, for joining the program from Abuja. Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to have you. Thank you, Mr. Obong Thompson, for coming on board. Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah, I think Nigeria requires comprehensive, political electoral reforms.
Okay.
And then the media, civil liberty organizations should sustain the effort of, enlightening and pressuring the government to do the right thing.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you so much, Doctor, for coming on board. I sincerely appreciate your presence in the studio with me. In as much as if I give these gentlemen the opportunity, they would actually take us from now till any time. Okay, I totally understand the final submission of Mr. Wilson, but I would say this. In a situation where we cannot even officially be accountable in the political system in Nigeria, and we cannot be accountable for whatsoever we do when it comes to electoral process. If we take this thing to diaspora, which we still need to, don't you think it will become an avenue for you to be seeing 2 billion votes, 1 point something billion votes coming from Canada alone? I am just saying, it's a food for thought. But I think we'll look into that particular diaspora voting Sunday. Okay, I just assure you, Sunday. But till then, don't forget, the views and opinions expressed by the analysts are solely their own and do not reflect those of VOP medias. Of course, we are all entitled to our opinion. My name remains Savior Uda. Don't give up because it is not over. Tough time doesn't last, but tough people to last. Whatsoever you're facing will soon be over, and you will definitely smile again. Have a wonderful, good evening.